I'm going to call Phil Twyford.
Thank you. Mr. Chairman did not say Stuart Nash, actually. Stuart Nash. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. As colleagues have pointed out in the last few contributions, this bill demonstrates what has become a classic pattern with this government, and we see it particularly in relation to the housing crisis, where for several years the government has denied that property speculation is even part of the problem in the Auckland housing crisis. They've denied it in this House, they've denied it in the media. And what we see, and it's a hallmark of this government, is that they wait and wait and wait, they deny, and then when the focus groups and the polling tells them that they can't credibly maintain that position any longer, they just do the bare minimum. And this bill is yet another bit of legislation that the national government has brought to this House that does just the bare minimum. And we're in this sort of incredibly frustrating position of actually voting for it because it is at least an acknowledgement that speculators are part of the problem in Auckland. It is at least something, but it's not much. And so we support it, but we want to make it absolutely clear to this House that it is a completely inadequate response. And in the course of this debate, we will go through clause by clause, and with reference to some of the very trenchant criticism that credible expert submitters made at the Select Committee about just how pathetic this bill is. The first is that, and we can see this in the advice from Treasury, is that this bill is expected to net $5 million. $5 million. There is billions of dollars of tax-free capital gain happening as we speak every year in the Auckland property market. Billions of dollars of tax-free capital gain going on right now in the Auckland property market, but this government doesn't care about that. They don't care about the loss to the economy. They don't care about the social consequences of an entire generation of young New Zealanders locked out of the housing market. This government doesn't care about that because John Key's made the political calculation. He's been very candid about it. He's made the calculation that he has more votes to gain by pandering to property owners who are watching their net worth go up by about $1,000 a day at the moment in Auckland. He doesn't care about generation rent. He doesn't care about the generation that's locked out of the housing market. He doesn't care about all of the downstream effects of people, right through to people who are living in cars and garages because the housing crisis means they cannot afford decent housing. That national government doesn't care about that. So, Treasury said that this bill would at best net about $5 million in new revenue, and they said that the small amount is primarily due to the fact that there will be a great deal of avoidance because the bill it's almost like it was written to encourage avoidance because all people have to do is hold on to a property for 2 years and 1 day because avoidance is so easy. If that avoidance wasn't possible, this bill would net something like $40 million. But it will only net 5, according to Treasury, because avoidance is so easy. Why wouldn't you? And there is some interesting information that EMB provided based on core logic data that shows that currently in Auckland there's a huge amount of churn going on in the real estate market. But properties sold within the first year account for 8.4% of all sales. Within a 2-year period, it's 17.4%. So that's why only 17.4% of sales within that 2-year period. That's why it's only going to generate a measly $5 million, because subtract from that 17.4% of all sales, all of the people who will hold on to that property for 2 years and a day, and you see this will make very little difference. And that's why when the government announced this prior to the budget, John Sherwin, one of their most respected tax advisors, he said then and there, this will not deter speculators.
Professionally confused.
Yeah, professionally confused. There are a lot of great quotes that we're going to share with the House, but that's why he said it won't make a blind bit of difference to house prices, and it certainly won't deter speculators.
I'm going to call Fletcher Tabato.